Well, we're coming up on the Tabby down here, but I wanted y'all to see that huge oak that is now pretty much dead and won't be there much longer. But anyway, the Tabby, as you can see there that I'm looking at, is the remnants of a old plantation that was down here. And this board up here will actually give you a lot more information than I can about it. It says, the ruined walls before you once anchored a plantation whose owner supplied salt to the Confederacy in the Civil War. Enslaved people farmed and hunted the land, tended the household, and boiled tons of salt from seawater. Though it seems remote today, this land was heavily farmed as early as 1783. That's just about the time that we became the United States, when the King of Spain granted it to the Samuel Mills family. Later, the Fitzpatric family acquired it in 1795 and started the salt operations, followed by the Browards around 1848. The land's heritage of sustaining coastal people goes back thousands of years. So that's a very brief history of this down here. Now, there's only two little places here that's left. The Tabby, I want to get a long shot of this and where you can get an idea of the scale of this. Now, Tabby was nothing more than a primitive concrete. Today we would use rocks as a filler and to give strength to the sand, lime, and the other ingredients that go into a concrete. But Tabby was made basically the same way, except they used shells. Now, a lot of it is crushed oyster shells and clam shells and any other shell that they could gather up and crush. Now, they've done two different kinds. One, they used the bigger shells in it, and when we go over to the little slave quarters that's behind me over here, you'll see where they used the bigger shells. But on the main house here, they crushed the shells up a little bit more. A little bit longer process. Now, over the years, they've done some work to this bottom part here, and it's got more modern brick right there where we're looking now, where they made a repair years ago. Now, last time I was down here was over 20 years ago, probably. There was a little bit more of it standing then than what's standing now. But here's one of the walls going back towards the river. Just the other side of those woods right there is the creek. And I know they excavated this long ago. And I'm not sure the exact dimensions. It looks like probably about 20 or 25 feet over there may have been the wall that faced the creek over there. And it's not very wide. I'm standing on one wall, and to the other wall over there, it's probably 24, 28 feet maybe to the other wall over there. But that would have been a window on the second floor. And you can see on the top where they made bricks out of the tabby to form the gable end. Now this was a two-story structure, of course, but tabby was used to build a lot of the homes down in this area, unless you had a sawmill nearby or made your home out of logs. A lot of them built out of tabby. Then most of them would come along and they'd put a outer coat on it. We would call that stucco today. But you'll notice the construction on this. It's almost like a concrete block turned sideways in there. It's almost like they done 3 bricks with spaces in between. Now that space in between, number one, means you've used less product, but it also formed insulation in the process. Now, these walls have deteriorated over time. There was probably maybe twice this much up last time I come down here. And back then it was still private land. Since then the state and the city has come in and bought up a lot of this land and made preserve out of it. But one would think that they would come in here. I know they do it a lot in Britain. They'll put up stabilizers to help stabilize parts of building that are in danger of falling down. And it would be nice if they come in here and done that. I don't think they have any plans to do so, but it would be nice if they done that for posterity. Now, I'm pretty sure that the front of the house faced the river over in that direction. This would have been the back part of the house, and this would have been slave quarters. Now, this slave quarter building, it's only 2 bricks thick as opposed to 3. And I'm going to say that this building is probably 16 feet wide and, I don't know, probably 24, 28 feet long. Now, when I was here last, the wall on this side was up 1 story high, which these were only 1 story. But it probably stood up about 6 feet or so on this side, and it had a partial wall on either end. Now, I don't know whether y'all can see it on the video or not, but right here is where that wall has fell. You can see the bottom of the Tabby wall there where it's fell, and that's probably about a 6 foot high wall by almost the full length of this structure. But it's fell and it's broke into multiple pieces, and that back wall back there is not far itself, except it's going to fall on the outside of the building as opposed to the inside of the building. But probably in another 50 years, I won't be around to care anymore by that time. A lot of you looking at this video won't be around to care or not anymore. So nature's claiming its own back again, but it's history and it should be preserved and it should be passed on. Now, I realize that's a slave quarters, and like I've said many times before, slavery was a bad institution, and we're not going to go into that. There were several reasons why slavery lasted as long as it did, and over time it would have corrected itself, but we had a bloody war over it, and it was decided. But it should be preserved, and if nothing else, to remind us that slavery is a bad thing. So that's what's left of the old Tabby down here. Now, not far from here, as the flow flies, is the Kingsley Plantation. I done a video on it a while back, and it was a totally different setup over there than this. And he was a slave trader. But anyway, that was another story. So with that, I'm going to leave you with a shot of the old Tabby house that's 250 years old. And once again, I want to thank you guys for watching my videos. Please like and subscribe. Make a comment. Y'all have a good day, and once again, God bless you.